home fragrances to make your home smell amazing. Usually I do fragrances for the body, for the person, but today I figured, alright, let's do a little bit something different and let's do fragrances for the home. So if you want your home to smell as good as possible, then I guess keep watching. And remember that everything I mention is in Amazon affiliate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with one that I personally actually use to freshen up my home, which is quite an old fragrance, Les Monts by Coty. So number one reason why I use this is because it's very, very cheap. I think it's maybe $17. I got this for less when it was less, like 12. But anyway, this is a very, very nice floral aldehyde fragrance. I've said before, this is the closest you can get to Chanel No. 5 without buying Chanel No. 5. The main difference is that it doesn't have the musk notes that No. 5 has. This is more of a pure floral aldehyde. Beautiful powdery notes as well, kind of very feminine, fluffy, light notes. And downside, it doesn't last too long. It's an eau de toilette. It doesn't have a super intense longevity, but you know, if you just want to freshen up the home, spritz a little of this here and there, on the fabrics, it's a really good option because it does really absorb well into fabrics. It disappears more quickly on the skin, but it sticks around on the fabric. So this is a good option if you really don't want to spend that much, but you still want your home to smell nice and you don't want to spray, Febreze or something. So besides this, another one, which is also quite affordable and one of my favorites, especially for the summer. This is actually from Old Navy. This is Sea Salt and Fig. So this is a pretty simple fragrance. Sea salt and fig, those are the notes you're gonna get. And similar to Les Monts, it is very light, but it's delicious. It is has a little bit of the sweetness from the fig, and then of course the saltier notes from that sea salt. So you get this kind of oceanic, fresh fruit kind of vibe, which I think is delicious, especially, like I said before, for the summer. Super refreshing. You can really imagine yourself, you're at the beach, that ocean breeze coming towards you, So this is very pleasant. I'm not exactly sure how much this is, but I know it's not that expensive. And it's a pretty decently sized bottle. And similar to Les Monts, it really sticks well to, fabrics. It really delves into those fibers and sticks around. Then, going in something a tad more expensive but still affordable, we have Red Door, the ever classic Red Door from the 1990s. This is very pleasant if you want your home to have more floral scent. This has a huge list of florals. I can't even name them all. It also has a honey note, which is a nice touch of sweetness. And then it kind of goes into more of a powderiness. So this is a very feminine sort of fragrance, definitely on the sweeter side, sweeter than these previous two. And it's a classic. I mean, everyone knows about Red Door, and a lot of people enjoy Red Door. And it's just kind of nice if you want a sort of classic feminine smell in your home. It's, not too many people dislike this, so if you're having guests over, 99% of them are going to enjoy this. So, pretty good option. I believe the full bottle is $30-ish, so, double than Les Monts, which is, around 15-ish, but, again, decently sized bottle, and it's just nice to have around. It reminds me of spring, this one, when all those flowers are blooming. Very lively, fresh, feminine fragrance. Then, going into the more expensive territory, if you really want to have a very specific smell for your home and you don't really care about the money too much, then I would say Dior Homme. So this is the original, which unfortunately I believe has been discontinued, but the next best option I would say is the Eau de Toilette, which is still being made. This is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Also, the Dior Homme Parfum is also very similar to this. So the main thing here is the iris note. I would argue that the iris note is the best possible note you could have in your home. It is floral, kind of creamy, buttery, floral note, light, powdery, just beautiful in all senses of the word. It's then mixed with some very, very fresh and crisp and clean notes. A little bit similar to the Old Navy sea salt and fig in terms of how crisp and fresh it is. Definitely, if you want your home to smell as fresh as possible with a touch of floral sweetness, Dior Homme is a really, really good option. Now, in terms of the Dior Hommes in general, because there are quite a few of them, I would not spray Dior Homme Intense in my home because it is very intense. That's more for, wearing on your own to, an evening outing or that sort of thing. But general Dior Homme, or even Dior Homme Sport, very fresh, clean, sophisticated sort of scent. And again, it is more on the expensive side. I believe a typical bottle of Dior Homme Eau de Toilette, that's like around $90-ish. But again, if you want a very specific scent for even a specific room in your house, or if you have, important guests coming over and you want that just the best smell possible for your home, of course you can spend that extra money. Then, in the same vein, this is Initio Musk Therapy. So this is more of a subtle fragrance. Now, musk is in the name, so you might expect it to be an animalistic, heavy, intense sort of fragrance, but it's actually quite the opposite. This is a very light, very subtle option. And this is one of the few musk fragrances that manage to do that, to be smooth, feminine, clean, soft, definitely not animalistic really, just a soft white sort of musk. Projection's a little bit more intimate here, it's not going to fill up the room or anything. Better for, spraying on the pillows, or on seat cushions or curtains, something where you want that fragrance to really kind of mingle and just stick there, because it won't really spread into the rest of the room. It'll just kind of stay where you put it. But it's delicious. It is, because the musk is so unique and smooth and even powdery a little bit, very, very unique and very, very attractive fragrance. It is on the more expensive side, so, unless you have that sort of disposable income, you'd have to be a bit careful with this. But it is definitely a really good option if you want something very unique, more on the subtle side, and of course very, very luxurious. But definitely a good option, just in general. But that is pretty much my list of home fragrances. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, make sure, of course, leave a like, maybe subscribe, leave a comment, and I make videos throughout the week, so don't forget about those.